Hello, hello. Welcome back to part three. I'm so excited if you're joining me for part three. It's hard to get people to come back to multiple episodes, so it's very exciting if you're still here with me watching this journey and learning and getting some insights from this. Okay, so part three is about emotions and money because they really exist and they're very strong. And it takes a lot of work to like untangle your emotions with money. So, this is about how I paid off $25,000 of debt in 16 months as an entrepreneur. And I'm talking about in this episode, this is part three of a three-part series. And I'm talking about emotions, the emotions I had with money, because I had a lot of strong emotions with money. I mean, strong negative emotions with money. In part one, I talked about how I had this vision of this woman I always wanted to be with money. And she was, this strong, fearless, financially smart, savvy. She had savings. She could, like I always wanted to be that way. She had a good credit score. Like that was something I always pictured and wanted for myself. And it took a long time for me to feel like that woman and become that woman, but I always wanted to be her. And I think getting there, I had so much shame around how I was with money because I wanted to be that woman, and I felt like I should be that woman, but I wasn't her. So I shamed myself a lot for carrying credit card debt. I shamed myself a lot for not being able to save money. I always felt like I had a lot of insecurities around in my relationship, like with my husband when we were dating, around other women that were just more financially savvy than me. Like I would feel insecure around them if we met someone who was, like a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, or just someone who was even like, yeah, I have like $10,000 in my savings and blah, blah, blah. And I would just become immediately insecure about this woman. And like, this is probably the woman that, my husband wants to date or whatever, not me, the one with credit card debt who can't get out of it. Like I had so many strong emotions and I felt very insecure about it. I think that the culture we're in now is there's so much more openness around money. You can find a lot of people who talk about money. You can find a lot of people's journeys about money, but it still is kind of a little bit of a taboo topic. Like it's not something that comes up a lot in conversations with some of my other girlfriends. With certain ones it is, and with other ones you never talk about it. And it could just be a subtle thing that someone mentions, but there are so many strong, big emotions around money. I mean, the only other topic that I think is very triggering and, has a lot of emotions is like motherhood. If you ever watched motherhood content before, oh my God, the comments on motherhood topic. But money can be just as triggering, as emotional. And I realized that me putting myself through so much shame for not being that woman, right? For not being that girl, for not being the one who has the savings, for not knowing how to do that stuff. I just put myself through shame for years and years. I was really hard on myself for it. When it came to me finally paying off debt, the biggest shifter when it came to my relationship with money and my emotions with my relationship with money was that I decided that no longer was I going to make myself good or bad, right or wrong. That numbers were just going to be numbers. That was it. When I look at my credit card statement and that number felt very overwhelming when I wanted to pay it off, not good or bad. I wasn't good or bad. I wasn't right or wrong. That's just what it was. It was just $25,000. I'm sure it was like 24,965 or something like that, right? But that's just what it was. Not good or bad, not right or wrong. That's just the number it was. And when I open up my credit card statement, I would feel that feeling. I'm really overwhelmed. I would just identify it. Man, I'm feeling really overwhelmed with that amount of money in credit card debt that I now have to pay off. And I want to pay off as soon as I can because I have this baby and this baby cannot, not one more dollar can be taken from her future. Okay, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, but it doesn't make me as a person good or bad or right or wrong. I think there's a lot of shame in the financial industry. And that is one thing that I do not want to bring as someone who creates content around money, specifically for entrepreneurs, is because we do make a lot of risky money decisions. We do go into debt, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. But that's the one thing I don't want to bring in my content with people and money is shame. You know, I feel like any other finance creators that sometimes I see, there's just a lot of shaming around like, how could you make this bad decision? There's like a lot of like parenting disappointing. And I just think like, no, like that didn't help me. I already felt all of that so much. And I remember anytime like I tried to get ahead in my financial future, I just felt so much shame. I wanted to run and hide. I'd like remember watching like a Susie Orman one, and I felt like Susie Orman still was very empowering, but at the same time, I felt so much shame just watching one thing about her talking about money or reading a book about money. It felt like so panicky. I had to like run away from it because I just felt like, what is wrong with me? Like, why aren't I like Susie Orman? But if you hear Susie Orman's story, she was in debt, like she is empowering when you can listen to it, when you can really handle your emotions and sit and rationally listen to someone. But I know how it can feel to like even look at the title of my video and just be like, nope, nope, can't watch that. I can't even listen to anybody talk about that right now, right? And I think the biggest thing you could do for yourself, the biggest gift you could give to yourself, is to allow yourself to watch this stuff, to listen, and to give yourself just like some grace. Just say, like, all right, like, man, I feel really panicked watching this video Shannon made, or I feel really panicked listening to this podcast right now because I feel so much shame and so many emotions around my debt. But it's all right. You just keep putting one in front of the other. There's nothing good or bad or right or wrong about you. The number is just a number. It's just a number. There's no charge to it. And you don't have to add any more pressure to yourself about what you've done or what you haven't done, or you should have more. Like it's not enough. Like, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath with me. We're going to get through it. And it's step by step and it's day by day. It's watching another video. It's listening to another podcast episode. It's like being in the room and just allowing like the panicky and the fear just to kind of subside. And anytime you need some more like grace with yourself, like give yourself grace. You didn't know how to manage money, you're going to learn how. You didn't have a lot of money growing up, you had to use credit cards. Okay, you're going to learn how to use them now for your children. You want to learn how to be better with money so you can build wealth for your children. Okay, that's what you're here to do, one step at a time. And I just want you to know that, like, you can do this. You can do this. It's not as scary as it may seem. It's not as overwhelming as it may seem right now. The best thing you can do for yourself is just like be here. Like, listen to the podcast, watch the videos. Tell yourself there's not anything good or bad, right or wrong about like what you did with money. You're just here to learn. Hey, I'm just feeling overwhelmed with that number. I'm just feeling really scared about debt. I just feel a lot of shame about how much debt I got into, and I was really reckless, and that feels really crappy. But like I'm here and I'm learning. All right. That's what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this 3-part series. I'll be back with some more content. I'm going to be opening up one-on-one coaching spots to work with me. 3 of my clients are currently ending their contracts, so I'm opening up some more spots to work with me one-on-one, and I'll be sharing more about that in my email list. Be sure to join if you'd like to hear some more information about working with me one-on-one to pay off credit card debt, save money, and build wealth for your family. All right, sounds good. See you guys soon.